Reddit. What well-meaning things that people do actually drive you crazy? When the person who has the right of way at a four-way stop sign waves one of the others to go, it messes up the whole groove of the process. Every single intersection in Seattle has this problem. The too polite Seattle driver. I actually have been meaning to post about this lately. I do something I like to think of as the pedestrian psyche out. I pretend I'm not trying to cross, and once the car has gone past, I switch directions to where I originally intended to go. When someone jumps into a situation without knowing all the details and starts giving advice as to what to do or what's best, happens almost daily at work. You're out of your element, Donnie. When someone keeps asking me what's wrong when there isn't anything wrong. My GF and I have been together for 10 years and are getting married this year. People always ask us, when are you having kids? I can't have kids due to a medical condition, and frankly having to explain that all the time is embarrassing and rather intrusive. I hate the assumption that every married couple has or wants kids. I also hate the assumption that everyone wants to and is inevitably going to get married someday. As a 22-year-old girl, I'm getting really tired of the when you get married, and the at your wedding, and the your kids will be, comments. I'm also pretty tired of being asked if my boyfriend is the one. It should be illegal for anyone besides the owner of a desk to clean said desk. That never comes out right. Waving someone into traffic with all good intentions but no common sense. People who hold the door for you, but do it from a great enough distance that you either have to walk faster or feel like a jackass for making them wait. Person 1, I'll get the check. Person 2, no, please, I insist, without actually having the intention of getting the check. Sounds like a job for Captain Bluff Caller. When they say no, please, I insist, just hand them the bill and say okay. They shouldn't have insisted. Strangers who tell me to smile in public. The worst. I smile. It's not that bad and you'd be even prettier if you smiled. Cute elderly people are the worst offenders, which pretty much prevents me from making bitchy replies. Smile, dang you. When someone dies and people say it was meant to happen, in the greater scheme of things, everything happens for a reason. Sure, that's optimistic, but no, I don't believe that. You're not cheering me up, you're just peeing me off. What do you want to eat? I don't care. Whatever you want. People who say, it could be worse. I know it could be worse. But situationally, this sucks. Constantly offering cake and cookies in the office. I guess it's not the offer that pisses me off. It's the way everyone acts like they're giving away free BJs and money in the break room, and I'm crazy for not wanting any. I had a coworker who would make sure everyone knew he brought something in for the office, and then he would hold it over you. Like if you made a joke or told him to do something, he would bring up the cookies, cake, soda he brought in, jokingly reminding you how much you owe him. Passive aggressive and ouchy. People changing their Facebook status to draw attention to some cause, child abuse, breast cancer, etc. You know what would do more good? Instead of changing your Facebook status or your account picture, donate some goddamn money to the same cause. I agree, but instead of doing anything about it, I'm just going to upvote you and then change my Facebook status. Ask if I'm sure I'm okay after I already said yes. Pointing at something on my laptop screen and touching it. Assuming I have a fragile ego. I have a friend who, whenever he wins an argument or demonstrates that someone is clearly wrong, says, but you could be right. No, I couldn't. I was mistaken and you have corrected me. This is perfectly okay. Another example of this is with uni grades. No matter what grade you get, you've done really well. If I say I should have done better than a C, someone will say, oh, but it could have been worse. Jack failed that course. I know it could have been worse, but I'd like to hold myself to a higher standard if you don't mind. The second one. It pisses me off when I say something about being disappointed with a B, for example, and somebody comes over to say, well, you should be proud. I got a C. Well, I don't give a crap about your grade. I wanted an A. The whole bless you routine after I sneeze usually doesn't bother me, since all I have to do is say thank you. What bothers me is when I forget to say bless you. Sometimes I don't say it because I'm preoccupied with something else, or I simply don't feel like saying it. This doesn't mean I considered a rude person. I understand that the person is just a little hurt that I didn't ask God to bless them. But still, to give me a look and make me feel like I just committed some horrible sin. UHG. That's why you answer you wouldn't bless me if you knew what I've done. I hate when older people call me sweetheart or honey. Even though they don't mean it, it comes off as condescending. You get this from everyone in the South. It's honestly not condescending, and though it may be a little off-putting at first, I'd rather be called something like this than a swear term. Speaking as a cable technician. Ask me about my day after work or school. I surely don't want to talk about my 8 hours day of sitting picking my nose in lecture, nor do I want to relive the experience. Every day what I get home from work. Thank you for feigning interest, but nothing ever happens at work. When I'm driving, pedestrians and bicyclists. When I'm walking, drivers and bicyclists. When I'm on the bus, bicyclists and other bus riders. When I'm on my bike, bicyclists and pedestrians and drivers. One of my most freaky moments when I used to ride my bike was when I stopped at a red light. This guy on a fixie flies by me and screams back at me, "Learn to ride a bike, butthole," as he flies through the red light. I had no words. Even if I did, he was at least a block away by the time the light turned green. People who give me endless advice on how I'm raising my child. I'm actively trying to raise a hex spawn. That's why I'm not taking your advice. When people say no offense complete in the knowledge that what they are about to say is an insult in some way, and so use it as a clause to deny their responsibility for the inevitable offense that will be taken. People who laugh politely or go along with what you're saying. Feigning interest in social situations where I'm sorry but I have no idea interest about what you are speaking of would make me feel less like a time wasting, boring and arrogant dong. When people try and sort out my hair, or touch my hair in a way that changes it in a way I chose for it not to go. I don't particularly spend much time over how I look most of the time, but I'm sure to have my hair the way I like it and where it feels comfortable. Back off. B. There's plenty more fish in the sea. Vomit and disgust. When I say no offense, I do it under the assumption that most people are too p for honesty and will flip out at me. In these cases the intention isn't to insult you but more to point out an aspect of your person or situation that isn't exactly dignified because it is relevant to the conversation. Many times people flip out anyway. I don't like it when people say, everything is going to be okay. No one really knows if things will be okay, so it just sounds like empty words to me, even if it is meant in kindness. Having major surgery today. Oh, don't worry, everything will be okay. You have no way of knowing that. People in cars who want to be nice and let me cross when there are no other cars around. Just go. You can go about your day and I can cross without the guilt. They just want to look at your butt as you walk by. When somebody tells me, it was meant to happen, meant to be, which leads me to reply, not really. Life events are not written anywhere and thus nothing is meant to be. I then realize what a large and obscure butthole I really am. It depends on how you look at it. If you can account for every initial condition of the universe and apply the correct laws governing physical behavior to every event, you can theoretically predict the outcome of everything at every given point in time. The universe can really only unfold one way. Whatever just happened had to happen. Insisting on taking care of me when I am ill. I just want to be left alone, and when friends and family insist on coming over I have to clean my room, put on clothes and keep up a conversation while holding back my vomit. Dang son, I wish I had your problem. When I'm sick nobody gives a crap. Even when I was in the hospital my freaking wife went to England. People calling to check on me when I don't feel well. I just wanted to see how you were. Well, I was up all night and feel terrible, and I had just finally managed to get to sleep about 10 minutes before you called, but thanks. You're welcome. I hate whoever thought it was a good idea to let those balloon animal makers wander around the restaurant. I am eating, not going to the circus. Yes, I know you are zany and make children smile. Now leave me alone. A car stops in the middle of the road to wave me across. This irritates me to no end as well. Dear motorists, it would be both faster and easier for you to pass by at speed than for you to slow down to the point where I feel comfortable crossing in front of you. This applies many times over for roads bigger than 2 lanes. You're so skinny. Don't you ever eat? You should eat a cheeseburger. I can't count how many times I've been told this in my lifetime. I've always been slim. Lay the frick off. When I bump into some furniture and someone asks me if I'm okay, I am completely enraged and am on the verge of breaking this chair over something. Do not become that thing. When I was a kid and anything bad happened, my mother would point out that there are millions starving and desperate across the world. I hated it and it made me angry, but at the time I didn't understand why and thought there must be something wrong with my mindset. When I grew up I realized it was because I was not comforted by the suffering of others. Instead it made me feel worse, because not only am I now reminded that there is more pain and suffering in the world, but it belittled my own worries and discomforts and dismissed them as illegitimate. Yeah, I am something of a utilitarian, and I was as a kid as well. Sigh, she meant well. I'll pray for you. When someone is persistent in offering you food that you clearly don't want. When I am having a beer during the day and someone asks me if anything is wrong. No, I just wanted a beer. But it's 9 o'clock in the morning, and we're in church, and it's your son's baptism. I just want a beer. Sheesh. When my mum constantly asks me what I'm doing, where I am, who I'm with, etc. I know she just wants to check up on me, but it gets annoying. Freaking mothers and their love. B. When people say bless you before I sneeze, which just freaking interrupts my sneeze so that it's stuck in my nose for a few minutes. I do this for exactly that reason. You're welcome. Pet names. Dear God, pet names. No, I'm not your baby and my name isn't Austin. It's Austin. Get it right. When people say it's not the end of the world because they think it'll make me be okay with whatever's happening. I know it's not the end of the world, and trust me, I'd be acting a lot differently if it were the end of the world. Just let me feel how I feel. Small talk. There was that one Ask Reddit asking other countries what they liked about North America. Everyone said they love how friendly the people are because everyone asks about your day and makes small talk all the time and seems to genuinely interested in your day. I don't care about how anyone else is doing and I wish they didn't feel the need to care about mine. When you want to change lanes and you slow down, but this is the rare occasion that the driver next to you actually acknowledges your turn signal and also slows down. So now it's a slow off and next thing you know you're both pee at each other for not passing letting pass. Solution: never slow down to change lanes. I hate it when I insist on paying for food but the other person really wants to pay for some reason. It's really awkward and no matter what you do you feel like a complete douche. My girlfriend's parents come to my house and mow the lawn, clean everything. Gets on my nerves because I don't like people going through my stuff, but they don't really know how to do anything else and want to feel like they are helping out. People that stop at the scene of accidents or bystanders of a medical emergency that then won't leave or get out of the way when the paramedics arrive. You've been stopped by the bread cat. Like this video too or he'll eat all your bread. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check out another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.